Good morning. My voice is going to be shaking a bit because my country is 28 degrees and this place is far lower. So I was very cold. I was telling him that I feel cold up here and I want to just get up and do something. So I'll try not to talk too much. I'm a very talkative person. I talk a lot. But because we don't have time, I'll be snappy. I'm from Ghana and I'm representing just one group of companies. So we are going to be talking about the menace, that's in quotes, the menace of the sanitation situation in Accra. I cannot talk about myself today because we don't have time, but the short thing I can say is that I was trained by the chair of GAMA some 8 years ago. So that is a summary. You should know the kind of person I am. He trained me, so that's okay. So this is the menace of the sanitation situation in Accra. We are actually laying emphasis on liquid waste management. All the publications that we've seen recently about Africa seem to tell us that we are very dirty and that we are not able to handle our sanitation management. But I want to tell you a story, and then after the story, I'll ask you if Accra is really dirty, because some of you think Accra is dirty, and some say it's not. But I'm going to tell you a story about liquid waste. So when I finish, I'll meet you outside. I'll ask you if you think there's actually a menace of sanitation management in Accra. So this is what we are going to be talking about. We'll be looking at, we'll just talk about the Just One Group. We'll tell you about the liquid waste management problems. We'll tell you about our solutions. And then we'll just go to the conclusions and round up there. So about us, that's the Just One Group of companies. Many of you came to our stands and were asking if Just One Group was outside Africa. Just One Group was started in Ghana in 1995, and then we operate in 12 sectors, 12 different sectors. We have over 40 companies, and we are in 10 different countries across the globe. We have branches in Asia. We have all across Africa. So, and then we've employed over 200,000 people. And we are not talking about only Ghanaians. We are talking about people from everywhere. So if you want to join us, you're welcome. We will take you. We can employ you and you work here for us. Yes, so Just One Group is everywhere. And this is important. It's the most diversified business group in Ghana. If we work in 40, we work in 12 sectors, then it means that we do everything. But don't get confused, because some of you may not be doing some of the things we do. So you see, we do waste management, banking and finance, software development, ICT, manufacturing. Then we do printing. So I know some of you are asking, why do you do all these things? We're able to do them anyway. So building and construction. And then we do agricultural stuff. We enter into partnerships and help people to even get finance for deals and projects and all that. We do port services and logistics, automobile and other stuff. So Just One is big, but today we are talking about waste. So we want to just talk about one of our subsidiaries, which is the Zoom Lion Group. In fact, just that company has grown so big that now it's becoming a group on its own, because under that subsidiary, we have composting, we have waste collection and haulage, public cleaning. When you come to Ghana, the company that does most of the cleaning for the public sector is Zoom Lion. That's one of our subsidiaries. And we are into liquid waste treatment, medical treatment, and all the things you see there. To the extent that now we have another subsidiary called the Dredge Masters, and we're able to dredge any river body. So we're talking about river. If you need anybody to dredge anything, Mali, wherever, just call us, we'll come. Just one group of companies can do it. So our strengths, they are there. We gave some of you our brochures, so I'm sure you've gone through it. And if you need some from here, I can give you, and then, or you go to our website, you find the strength of Just One Group of companies, Zoom Lion. Now, we are talking about liquid waste, and that is one major thing that a lot of people have issues with, because when it comes to solid waste, we know that the processes of management is not too difficult. Sometimes you just carry them, burn them, make sure that the pollution is outside where people are living and all that. But when it comes to liquid, then there's a problem, because we have said that most of us use groundwater. So if you are getting your waste into the system and you are going to bring it back and not well treated, then you have a lot of people who are going to suffer from that. So the challenges in Accra, this is where I want you to be careful. It's like you are watching a movie and then they tell you it's PG-13, so, but we are all above that. I don't know, this one doesn't have an age group, but I've told you, viewer discretion, so you decide. You can turn around or watch it, but, you know, this is what was happening, not in Ghana, Africa, India, Asia, everywhere. Just not in Ghana. So that is why I have not put a picture there, and I have not referenced it to tell you whether I took it in Ghana or Mali or wherever. But this is Africa, because the people there look African. So this is what we used to do. Fecal waste or liquid waste from our homes. We had people who would come and pick them up, and then you wouldn't ask them where they were going to dump it anyway, because it wasn't your business. Probably you gave them some small money to just come and carry it off your house. And they would pick it and go and dump it somewhere. That wasn't the concern of anybody. So this is what was happening. Then it got to a time when people were able to import trucks. They said, I'll move quick because we are going to have tea. You don't have to look at it for long. So you see that people will bring things like a truck advanced way, because now people started having septic tanks in their homes, and people will have to come and collect the waste. And then they were taking all this waste and dumping them into our water bodies. Because we were not concerned, people were taking it to the sea. So if you ask yourself, if you lived in an environment that wasn't close to the sea, where were they going to dump that? Maybe you had just one river body in the town. Where were they going to dump all that? Nobody was going to carry this 24 kilometers from your home and dump it in the sea, no. But most of our discharges across Africa and most places that are close to the sea always end up in the sea anyway. So in Ghana, we had about 800 liters per day. So I've made it cubic meters and liters because some people are confused. People prefer liters, some prefer cubic meters. So just divide it by 1,000, I think you get the difference. And that's what we were discharging a day. And at a place called Lavender Hill in Accra. That place is close to one of our lagoons. And so that's where most of the trucks discharged the waste, liquid waste. Then we have another one at Nungwa. We're talking about Accra, which is about 3,000 kilometers square. Yes, so that is where people will have to drive all the way to Kolegono and dump that, or go to another place which is called Nungwa to dump. So these were the things that were happening when those things were being done. See that we're polluting our surface water, and then we're getting our soil contaminated. Air pollution was everywhere, because if you drove past Lavender Hill those days, you would smell, you have a very good feel, and then health hazards, cleanup costs went high. And then we had a lot of negative effects on the well-being of citizens in that area. What has Jospon Group of Companies done? To be specific, Zoom Lion. What have we done to help the country change the perception that is everywhere, that Africans cannot make it when it comes to waste management? Zoom Lion said that, okay, people started saying, well, the government is not doing well. People started raising issues. They were complaining. They were taking the authorities to court, saying that people are contracting diseases and illnesses because of where we're dumping all that. But as super giants in waste management, we said we have to help the government and then make sure that we solve this issue. So we decided to do something that can treat our liquid waste. And like this morning, the person who did, I don't know the name, but he introduced that. He said something. And he said that until you're able to do things on your own to fend for yourself, you are not fully matured. So Ghana, Zoom Lion said, we are Ghanaians, so we want to do it ourselves and solve our own problem. That will show that we are growing and we are developing. So this is what we did. Within 3 years, we were able to build 2 fecal treatment plants. And then we rehabilitated 1 sewage treatment plant that had been built in the year 2000 by the government and had run for a period of 2 years and was shut down. Now, these things were done by a private company in partnership with the government. And this was done, these things were done by a local company, Jospon Group of Companies. So this is what we built, the Lavender Hill, that's the first one. This one, everybody will be asking, why are you showing me perspectives? I'm going to show you the real stuff. But I want you to start thinking about it. So a total investment of $40 million, US dollars, was secured through loans from banks in Ghana. So don't think that banks in Ghana cannot fund projects. We can. It's not a lot of money, but at least we can get that money to do this job. And then the capacity is about 2,400 cubic meters, and that is what we're able to do. So we have 250 trucks coming in every day, and we can handle them. It's not a problem at all. And we can generate some gas, and we can use that to even power our facility there. And we are looking at generating more power and feeding it onto the national grid, or probably giving it to a hospital that is very close by, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, a renowned hospital in Ghana. So the project is completed now, and then we are just finishing the biological process in June 2017. And then we are still asking people to come there, and they come there 24 hours. We don't shut it down. Every day we are working. So this is the Lavender Hill. This is the Lavender Hill. This is the Lavender Hill that we have, and this one is the place where we get the trucks to come and then drop off. So very nice video. I was waiting for it to move. It wasn't moving. I was surprised. So I'm taking you on a tour, short one. So you see, this is how we welcome trucks. They come in there. You don't see any fecal material on the ground. There are pipes connected. So there's a suction point, or some of the trucks have pumps that when they turn on, they move all the fecal material directly into it. So you don't see even a drop of it. Those trucks that don't have these pipes, we've actually made provision to provide some for them. And we are training the drivers on how to manage these pipelines so that they don't get destroyed. Originally, they would just open the tap and then it will flow somewhere. But this is what we are doing, Jospon Group. And then we have the biogas that we are going to work on. This hasn't really started. The first part is providing small electricity for the facility on its own. But we are looking at this to do a bigger one, to provide for the national grid. And so waste can give us some positives. So we as engineers should be looking at the positive sides of other things, not just talking about the negatives. So that's what Jospon Group is doing. This is the Mudos Sewage Treatment Plant. This one was constructed in 2000, and we have gone into rehabilitate it. The video is supposed to be playing. Okay, let's go. We don't have time. So 2000, and then operated for 2 years, and then we had issues. It's not that they didn't build it well. It's just because the management wasn't, and at that time, Ghana wasn't really, we have top people in sanitation, but we didn't have people who could manage the facility. And people had not bought into the idea of bringing the waste to Mudo for treatment, because they felt if they brought it, they would pay some fee, but if they dumped it in the sea, then they wouldn't pay anybody. But we had to get the government to talk to people to be able to start bringing these things there so that we can also generate some little money to run the place. So a total cost of $25 million, also paid loans by banks in Ghana. So we have a total capacity of 16,000 cubic meters. And then we have tried to increase it after the renovation rehabilitation to 18,000. That is per day. So this project is serving a lot of households. When you come to Accra, the city center, we have Osu, we have the ministries, we have in fact, it is well piped. We have sewage lines from the center of the city that runs and then goes straight into the middle plant and is treated. So don't let anybody tell you that in Ghana we don't have sewage lines. We have them. City center, you won't see anything. You can do whatever you want. Nothing will come off the ground. It will go underground and then appear. We will welcome it, treat it, and give it back. You won't see anything. So this is Kotoku. The Kotoku one is placed at a strategic point. The two we've mentioned earlier are placed close to the sea. And the reason is that we treat the water and then we get the clean water into the sea. So you don't smell anything. It's clean, it's pure, it's fresh. You can do whatever you want there. We can set up a dining area there and you won't feel anything. You won't smell anything. But this one is not close to the sea. We placed it there because we wanted to handle 3 regions: the Greater Accra, the Eastern, and the Central region. Now, we placed it there also because we have people who farm in the area. So we said, if we can't take it to the sea, then let's treat the water and use it for irrigation. So that area, there's no water body there, but we provide ponds for people to use the water that we have treated for irrigation. So if you feel that you have a lot of persons in an area and you want to, but they don't have water to work on their farms. Call Josport, we will come and sort you out. We'll make sure we collect everything they bring out, and then we'll produce you some water. Now, so that's Kotoku, just taking you through the pictures, and then that is what we have there. Now, conclusion. I think I've done well, I haven't spoken too much. Now, the situation is that, in conclusion, we say that usually we depend on public funding everywhere. But trends are changing, and it's not very easy for taxes to be used for all these things. So we think that projects like this, we need people who can also fund, outside the public funding. That's the situation. People always wait for the government to do these things. But we are willing to do this investment with any country, any state, any group that is willing to welcome us to do this business with them. We are willing to do it. We don't have many organizations. I don't know of any apart from Josport. Maybe there's another group that has privately financed such a project, fecal treatment. Maybe there are, but they haven't written any papers on them. So we are willing to continue this business across Africa. And because we are Africans, we want to do it in Africa for now. When we are done, then we explode and tell the world that we can do it everywhere. But we want to, because we started in Ghana not telling you that we are done, so we want to come to Africa. When we finish, then we go to the other parts of the world. So what are we looking for? Simple terms, we are looking for partnerships between the private and public sector. So if you are an investor or you're a company or you're a consulting engineer in any of the industries and you think that you want to embark on this project, if you have public partnership in your country and you invite us, we are ready to join you. And then we'll help you to do this project. Then technology transfer. Josport Group, Zoom Lion, we've done well because we brought foreigners in and we did these projects with them, and so we have trained people who are now able to do these things. But we feel we don't know it all. As consulting engineers, we are looking for people who can help us and then give us expert advice so that we can develop more and probably do better things that we have done. And then we are looking for investors. We are not saying we don't have money, but we are looking for investors. If you have an investor who is also interested in investing in such a project, we are willing to join you. And the last point is that you should learn to tell our own story. The story is always told for us. So the papers are written by World Bank, written in England, written elsewhere, and they tell us Africa is dirty, Ghana is dirty. But as consulting engineers, what do we do for our countries? What do we write? Engineers don't talk. Engineers are too quiet. The difference between engineers and doctors is when you are sick and it's something ordinary, the doctor will make it look like it's strange so that you pay for the medical services. But a bridge is collapsing and an engineer comes to stand there and says, my men are on it. Nobody is worried because engineers are quiet. But when there are issues, we expect engineers to come out and tell the truth. So Zoom Lion is telling this story to let people know that the last published article was in 2006, World Bank, saying that Ghana cannot even manage the waste that we have. I've told you a story. Do you think Ghana cannot manage the waste that we have? So this is what we should be doing as consulting engineers, Africa. Let's write our own documents. Let's publish it there. Let's send it out there and tell the world what we are doing. And I believe that when we do that, we'll be all right. Then everybody will know that consulting engineers, Africa, we are growing and we can do our own thing. Thank you very much.